Yeah, Lord.
First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rakak,
Rakak,
Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and great millstones, taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, for the shut of our spirits. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. If the Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer. To come and deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. All right, to the Church of Philadelphia, once again on the highways and hedges, coming to prophesy the downfall of America according to the Bible. All right, and right now on the way to camp, we basically was listening to a lot of things about the chip, to see it, and those are the things that's mainstream right now. And we've been talking about this since, hey man, since we came across it. And if you know it, but going back to what, 2007, I want to say 2007, 2008, when Obama was in office, he's the one that really brought this thing. Like, they had it already planned, but he's the one that really was pushing for it. Because with every president, they have an agenda, and that's through the elite, the ones that's controlling. All right, so that's where you got your Obamacare from, and you got what, your Obama phones, which your cell phone has the RFID technology inside of it. And what they have now, they got, when you go around to different neighborhoods and everything, they got these different companies. You got Assurance Wireless, you got your budget, your Q links, and all that. But they're trying to give everybody phones, man, even the homeless people. All right, now you see homeless people with cell phones. Why is that? Because they're getting your mindset prepared for the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. All right, well, what you got, brother?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what we're doing right now, man. The men that came before us and the men that's now, because some people believe that there's no more prophets left. And the word prophet, it means pro, means before, speak before. So when you prophesy, you speaking before something happens. Like going back to what John the Revelator, the things that he saw. We got Ezra, Jeremiah, which the brother just reading out of his book. You got Zephaniah, you got Zechariah, and all those men are back right now in the reincarnation. But they just don't know who they are. But through the Spirit, they're bringing out the same things, man. Prophesying against what? Babylon. Babylon is prophesied about in Revelation as well. If you watch the whole Bible, man, America's talking about, but it just doesn't say the word America. And that's why you need a man of understanding to come out and explain it to you. And if the Spirit is working with you, you want to see it, man. But a lot of you dudes out here get blinded because you care for the things in this world, in this society, man. And the things that are told to you. You don't do no research for yourself. Whatever's told to you, all you care about is smoking weed and fucking with these dumbass women out here, man. Put basketball teams winning, football season, didn't care about that. When all those things is good, man. Everything in Babylon is written, man. You're going to find out real soon. That's how great it is, man. That's it. That's it gonna happen. Let's hop in the Revelation. Let's start at verse 1. Let's break it down. Since that's, we go into that every week. But we ended off with that. So this week we're gonna start off with from the top and go through the whole chapter, Lord's willing, with the Spirit, man. Because it's a lot of information in there, man, that has to be brought out. You know?
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now, when you go into that, the 7 heads and the 10 horns, what's that? It's talking about the different the rulerships, right? So those 7 heads will be the Greeks, all right? You got the Romans, you got the Spain. You got Germania Major, you got Germania Minor, you got France and Britain, and what that beast is, that goes into NATO. And those are the original nations that really started NATO. All right, I believe NATO started what, 1949 was when NATO first came into power. All right, and now you have NATO, like, you got this whole war with Russia and Ukraine. Both of those countries, they're basically one country. They're all together, so they're not a part of NATO. They're not a part of these nations right here. They're a part. That's why they're coming together with the BRICS nations. But in what, 2003, I think it was, when Putin first came into power, he asked Bill Clinton to be a part of NATO. And they really shunned him, like, no, man, you can't get down with this. Why can't you get down? Because your country wasn't originally a part of that, man. All right? So it goes into that. That's your 7 heads, right? You got your 10 horns, which is your Anglo-Saxons, your Alamonis, your Franks, what's that, Bulexes, your Burgundies, your Lombards, what's the other one, bro? What's that, Swabies?
Swaby.
So Swabies, right?
Yeah.
Your Isengars and your Visigoths.
Ostrogoth, Visigoth.
Yeah. So those are actually, those are what? 10 horns, right? And what does a horn represent? The horn represents the power. All right. So you at the top of a level. You in power right now. So America, they would be a horn now because they're in power right now and they ruling all the nations. You know, because all the power comes from here, Babylon. All right. All these other nations are not ruling. That's why they're trying to. All these nations is coming together to try to bring the American dollar out of power to make it have no more money. I mean, no more effect and no more value. It's just depreciating every day, man. You know, what they just had that summit,
G20.
Yeah, the G20. When they brought in, I forgot how many more nations. I think it was like 6 more nations came on to the BRICS, to those nations. Which the BRICS nations is what? You got Brazil, you got Russia, you got India, you got China, and you got South Africa. And all those nations, they're not a part of NATO. Actually, those nations hate NATO. You know? They hate what's the NATO stand for? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All right? That's what it stands for. And that's the ones that's going to be sending troops here to start bashing you niggas' heads in, sticking you in concentration camps and making you get the chip, man. You know? Which is written up in the Bible, man. And it's not written up in any other book. And how we know it's the truth, because you're seeing it happen right now. And the same things that we're telling you is in mainstream media. And if everything that they don't show in mainstream media, you got alternative media sites that you can see the same things that we're telling you is actually happening. And they're doing they're writing treaties, you know, they're pushing executive orders every single day to take you niggas down, man. And not even just you, just the whole world. They wanna enslave the whole globe, man. That's what that whole new world order is about. One world religion, one world government, one world banks, and all that, man. All right, because they're trying to heap everything onto themselves. Let's go.
And upon his horn, 10 crowns, and upon his heads, the name of blasphemy.
That's right. You got it.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet.
What? The leopard is going into the beginning of what? The Greeks. But that's Alexander the Greek, that was his his symbol was the leopard. And you can prove that. Matter of fact,
Find that in Daniel.
that's matter of fact, you can go on the first Maccabees. I grab it to prove that point. When it's talking about Alexander, first Maccabees 1 and what's that, 11? Yeah, okay. First Maccabees 1, first Maccabees 1 and 1. Which it says, this is first Maccabees chapter 1 and 1. It says, and it had happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of Persia, and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So he was the first ruler over Greece, over the Greeks. All right, was the Greeks as Edomites, the so-called white men. All right, and they call him. Why do they call him Alexander the Great? Because he took down a lot of things, man, and his kingdom. So they call him Greek. That's where he got Alexandria, Egypt from. All right, because he took that down as well, man. So Alexander, he was a beast, man. He was a problem in his time. But the reason why he did all those things because the Lord gave him the power, man. He raised him up because what he said, the Lord said, I'll rule in the kingdom of men, man. He raises up kings and he puts down kings. So every king that you ever read about, every king that they told you about in history, when you go to school in your history classes, because all they teach you about is their kings, guess who put them in the power? Our Lord, man. Yahweh. Because he created all things. And he set up things going all the way back to Daniel, right? When you go into Daniel with the statue, the Babylonian kings, the Lord set them up, man. And he put them down. All the way coming into this kingdom right now. Now we're at the end of all these different nations' rulership when it's coming to the beginning of ours. That's why they're talking about the end of the world, because they know they're never going to rule it again, man. Once this kingdom goes down, they're never going to come to power ever again.
It's the end of their rulership. That's right. And that's what they convince you people to think, that it's the end of the entire earth.
That's right.
And they talk about the so-called rapture is the end of the entire earth. And everything's going to be gone. No, it's the end of their rulership.
Right.
Just why they call the times over there in Europe the Dark Ages, right? Yeah. Hey, it was a great time for the Israelites.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
But again, they labeled it as something based off of what's happened to them, right, and their ability to govern and rule.
That's right. And I meant to just touch on this again, but NATO, I forgot to mention, it said it was created in 1949. Well, it's created in 1949 by the America, Canada, and the Western European nations, man. All right, which Russia is not a part of Western European nations. Russia is on the eastern side of Europe. All right, so it's created by America, Canada, and the Western European nations. Which now you got Canada. Canada's really a part of North America. It sits right on top of it. So you got from Canada going all the way down to what, Mexico? All that's will be considered North America. That's this place right here is going to be completely destroyed off this planet. Man. All right. But hopping back in the explain about this guy Alexander. It says, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth, which was just bringing out, and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoil of many nations, so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted in his heart, was lifted up. So when it's talking about his heart, it's in the Hebrew, it's your life, so it's talking about your mind, right? So if you're a man, look at any boxer now, any warrior, and they fight all these battles and they never lose, they undefeated. Like a dude like Floyd Mayweather, man, he fought all these fights, he's undefeated, right? He's in his head, he's like can't nobody beat me, man. But that's the same thing that Alexander the Greek done. But the Lord put his ass down as well, man. But it says, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. All right, so when it says departed his kingdom, and as the scriptures say, a house divided cannot stand. Even though that was his kingdom, so that was his house. He ran through it, he moved, he was over. That's one. But when he found himself, he felt sick and he was about to check out. He was like, here, I gave it to him to 4 generals, man. You know? It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then he died. All right, so that's going back into where we at in what's that, Revelations 13?
13.
Yeah, okay. But start back at verse 1, Mother Michelle.
Nah.
So he only reigned for 12 years. You think about ruling something for 12 years. Even the kings of America, right, which is your presidents, the longest that they will ever reign here, if they get voted, well, they're not even voted in, they always get selected, but the longest they're going to reign is 8 years, man. That's a small ass time, man. That's not even worth ruling, you know? But then you get the same pay as long as you're alive, they still call you president and all that, but you're not making no more executive orders, man. You know?
Which you're being told what to do anyway. You're just a puppet.
That's right.
It's been set up by the elite.
That's right.
It's Book of Revelation, chapter 13, back up to the top, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
And we said it was NATO. Right?
Well, the 7 heads,
I mean,
we go into the Greek, Roman Empire,
Dominion Major, Dominion Minor,
Major, France, Spain, and Great Britain. Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
So that bear, that mouth is Great Britain, the mouth of a lion. Because Great Britain, they also use that the lion as a symbol as well. And the feet is going into what? Russia. All right, Russia's going to be the one. That, if you don't believe it, all you got to do is pay attention to the news, man. Russia's going to be the one to really get it popping over here in America to be the one to stop bringing it down. Going into what? Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, where it speaks about it's going to be a guard to the nation, right? So they defeated a bear, and that, like Putin just did, for the first time in history or this war or whatever, he put the Satan 2 into what? Into
They used to be in combat ready.
Yeah, it's combat ready. So it's like it's on standby, you know. So it's like you got, like, you know, you're going to war with somebody. You got your homies. Like, yo, if I need you, I'm gonna call you. So you on standby. So when I call you, come right through. That's all he did, man. He put that thing on standby. That lets you know he's planning on using it. Not only is he planning on using it, he's going to, according to the Bible. All right.
Hey, and going into you saying him being a guard to the nations, you know, you got all these, uprisings in the continent of Africa, right? And what they're saying is, you know, Russia is being a guard to them.
That's right.
Because other than that, you would have all these European nations trying to bring back the rulers that they set up in that continent, right? And you also have North Korea. Kim Jong-un is supposed to meet with Putin. I don't know if he did last week or sometime this week, but soon they're supposed to meet. And and North Korea, what did they just do? They had missile-ready submarine. This week. This week they talked about it.
Then you also have what? Going into Alexander too. It says his generals, and not just his generals. Shalom, bro. Not just his generals. Alexander himself, he wore a leopard's head, man. Going into that, that's another sign that you know that it's actually talking about Alexander the Greek and that's a narrative, man. And you can look it up for yourself in history. Look at pictures of Alexander the Greek. He wore a leopard's head in battle, man. Matter of fact, you watch this little documentary or the movie they did on it, they'll show you that. And his general was found the same suit. You got it, bro.
It says, and the dragon gave him his power.
Oh, the drag going to what? Rome, right? But that was the deadly wound that was healed. And the Rome is Rome was also another one that was considered a beast as well, man. For their fighting style and everything, like their military, you know, when it talks about how, like, I believe they use like a lot of iron when they went to war and everything like that. So that would consider them like a beast as well, man.
It says, in his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Yeah, look at that. You can barely see it in the sky. The rainbow.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, man, that's why he probably had us waiting.
That is right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, man, y'all ain't showing your sign, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Verse 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
See, that's going into what? Rome.
And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
Mm-hmm. That beast, like I said, is going to the Roman Empire. How is that? Their philosophies of America follows after the same philosophies as Rome and Greece as well, man. Because you got a Democratic and Republican party. You gotta vote. You gotta vote in your presidents. Just like back in Rome, you had to vote in what your Caesars, man. You know, you had a lot of Caesars, man. And then you had what? Hold up, you going to the Roman Empire, right? It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically Rome 2.0.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and so, yeah, obviously, you know, Rome fell, right? But how was it healed? Hey, America is now being set up, right?
Yeah.
And this is Rome 2.0.
Yeah.
And they take after, as the brother was saying, this linebacker, how the Romans set their government up, right?
Going to matter of fact, back there, going to Daniel chapter 7, when it talks about the iron teeth, you know, and the head wound talking about Rome and the Roman Empire, they spoke Latin, you know, and that's what I was talking about, the teeth, the iron, and all that. That's in Daniel 7, and that's talking about the Roman Empire with the Romans fighting styles and all that stuff like that, man, you know. But matter I think you can fight better. Let's find that part.
This book of Daniel 7, chapter 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly.
That's talking about the military and all that. And because the Roman Empire, they rule with a rod of iron, man. Like, they ain't play no games, man. They got you right up out of it. And you can look in the history of the Roman Empire and see how their military force moved. In America, they probably this after that Roman Empire military too, man. It ain't not just the Roman Empire, they go back to the Babylonian Empire as well. They probably had that. So they want to be as strong as the Babylonians were. So the Babylonian Empire was the longest ruling empire to this day on the planet. Got it, bro.
It says, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
That's right. That's the tactics, their weapons that they use. You know, matter of fact, I seen there was a documentary on the Roman Empire and the military and how they moved. And like you had It was one instance where they was in battle, but they all stuck together like in the close knit, and they had their shields and everything. So when you shot off your arrows to come to them, they was already cut down like in the iron, man. It was all
and they
iron.
had their shields up, right?
So everybody
So
couldn't hit them from the back of the front and nothing like that. And then they was ready to come through and thrust in. So they was running through shit, man. You know, but the Roman Empire, they was some bad motherfuckers, man. But they not, you know, they not on that level.
it says, and they worship, verse 4, and they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
That's the dragon, that's ancient Rome. You know?
And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him?
Yo, man. Nobody. Because what? I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to the Byzantine Empire. You know? It's Salak. No, Salak. That's something totally different. I don't want to get nothing less than that. But that right there, it's like who could make war with them? Because in Roman time, when they was in play, couldn't nobody make war. Coming to America, when they dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? But then nobody want to go against America, right? When they dropped that atom bomb and that destroyed the Oppenheimer. You know, you look at the movie Oppenheimer, he was the one that designed that atom bomb. Right? You know, they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah. And it says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
42 months. That 42 months is good. So that 42 months, man, forgive me for that. That's that was 350 years. 42 months is 350 years, man. All right.
And what when we look at that, that's what? So-called 1619.
Yo, cut, yo.
Hey, to when the prophets came out, right? In New York, right? How about Bivens, right? So, hey, that's when you really saw the decline of America.
But once we had the Dark Ages, it started in what, 476 BC, a lot. 476 CE to 800 CE. So that was between the 5th and the 14th century. That lasted about what, 900 years of Dark Ages.
Right. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
That's right. So what did they do? Going to Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. All right. So they, first of all, how they blaspheme that against the things in heaven. What they call Yahweh Shah, they say that he's one of them, man. They say he's an Edomite, looking like Caesar Borgia. They say that the Most High is an Edomite. That's what they say about giving them that complexion. You know, all the angels, they're saying that they look like them. You know, with the Edomite complexion. You know, they're calling the saints Edomites, because that's what they do. They put up all of their images after the Dark Ages. You know, when they not over to what's that? The bottomless pit one. That's in Europe, right? So they took down, going into the Renaissance era. All right, and what Renaissance means to what? Renew. All right. So when they renewed things, they did what? They put up their images and took ours down. And the reason why they call it Dark Ages, because they try to say that, oh, in the Dark Ages, you those are some dark times. But in the dark ages, really like on some real stuff, those are one of the greatest a time of prosperity, man. When things were rolling, man. Because when these devils come into play, all they do is what? They destroy things. They take them down, man. They destroy the earth. Look what they're doing to the earth right now. You know? And when you go into the dark ages, what? That's what like I said, the Byzantine era, right? When you had you go into the five good rulers, the five good rulers, right? And those were you had Nerva, you had Trajan, you had Herodian, but Nerva he ruled from what 96 AD to 98 CE. Then you had Trajan from 98 to 117 CE. Herodian from 117 to 138 CE. You had a Pius from 178 to 161 CE. Then Marcus Aurelius from 161 to 180 CE. All right. So those were, you can go back in the dark ages. Those men was the ones that ruled. And those they were black Caesars, man. All right. They was Jakes. They was Israelites. That was in power. Just like you have here, well not here, but you have Israelites that's in power in certain places of the government, man. But they're just not the top dogs. That's like they're not your presidents. All right, but Jake here could never be a president. All right, because that's not the way he designed it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was she was a grade school girl. She did an assignment on all the presidents of America, and they all was related somehow to his cousins in some type of way. You know, including this guy Barack Obama, but you Jake's out here, you swear that he's somebody so great and that he cares about you and that he's going to do, man. You know? Matter of fact, I watched a guy, I forgot Islam something, but he's in the Islam. And he was saying, oh yeah, man, he was trying to go into politics because he thought that that's how he was going to help his people out, you know? But now he's talking about, it's all about separating from the so-called white man and doing your own thing. If you had a black Wall Street before, you can have it again. So clearly the Lord is not dealing with that man because he doesn't understand that this place is the place of our punishment, man. All right? It's a place where the Lord is about to take this place down completely, man. You know? What you got it, bro?
Uh-huh. Verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them.
That's right, who are the saints? You know, you got to know who the saints are, man, because you go to church. Now, what they tell you in church, man, when the saints go marching in, any church you go to, they got a bunch of Edomites in there, they got Hamites in there, they got Moabites in there, they got Ammonites in there, they got all these different nations in there, but they all telling you that they're saints. We're the saints. But when you really look at it, all the saints that they present is white. But they whitewashed them, you know? Like I said in that Renaissance era, they whitewashed them, man. And all you have to do is, matter of fact, you get a book called the Black Russian Icons, man. And you'll see all the saints is really black, man. You know, they're Israelites. You know, you can't be an Edomite and be a saint. It don't work like that, man.
And I was looking at something in terms of when we talked about the deadly wound was healed. It began when the Edomites rose again in power during the Renaissance period. So I just want to correct that. I know I had that in the notes. But it's also, again, this is Rome 2.0.
Good.
You know?
But that's right though. That's right. So it did. When they was jacked up and they got, came back in the Renaissance.
Right.
Matter of fact, because don't they say that in it said where they said we will rebuild?
Yeah.
You know, that's what it said too, man. You know.
Verse 8.
So it said that we are impoverished. What's that? That's in Micah something. It says where it said that we were impoverished. It said that they shall go and rebuild. That's the you going to that devil you right there. That coming to the, like you said, the Renaissance.
Matter of fact, we're still in 7. Go back to the top of 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Right. And yo, that's right. Because what? Babylon is not just bad, the Edomites, period. They rule the whole world, man. Like we said, keep bringing it up, Job 9 and 24, man. You know, going into that, they rule this whole planet right now. But it's given to them. All the nations, because to do anything in America, not even America, throughout this whole planet, you better know how to speak English, man. You know, you want to fly an airplane, you want to be in top government positions, you got to know how to speak English, man. Why you think when those foreigners come over here, they got to learn English? They come over here speaking their language, you know, but that becomes their second language. And English becomes their first language. All right, and that's how you know who's in control and who's really moving this, man. All right, because like if you go like that's what, like I said, the Romans, they spoke Latin. So when you go into the etymology of words and everything like that, the first place it takes you back to is to the Latin, then it takes you to the Greek, and those people wasn't rulership. You know, and look at the scriptures. You know, the New Testament supposedly is written in Greek, right? It was translated from the Greek to the English. You know, you also have you go back and then it takes you to the Hebrew. So you have the Old Testament, but the whole Bible is written in Hebrew. Right? Don't get it twisted. All right, but then you have to go into different eras, but not people like the Hellenistic era. All that they spoke is Greek, man. You know, so they spoke that because who was in rulership? The Greeks was in rulership right there. You know, madness, man. That's because the real good information is coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, then you got stuff like that happens. But we're gonna keep going, man.
Right.
And man, Slakia, and that's another thing I meant to say. Like, but Yahweh Shah, when he was put on the cross, right? On the top of his cross, there was 3 languages written on the top of his cross. It was Hebrew, it was Greek, and it was Latin. And it says, "Here lies the King of the Jews," right? And they said it in all those languages. So obviously, the people that was in that area, in that vicinity, some spoke Hebrew, some spoke Greek, and some spoke Latin. So it had to be in all those languages.
Verse 8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb.
So now all people's names is not written in the book of life. So whose names is written in there? You have your elect of Israel. All right, they're all Israelites. Don't get it twisted. They're all Israelites. So their names are written. You got your elect, which is 144,000 chosen. Then you have your 1/3, which is the multitude. They're not going to worship this system. They're not going to worship this beast, man, at all, man. All right? And that's going into, and while we're in this right here, going all the way down, come on, Slock right up, man. Slock right up. But anyway, if you got your 144,000 children and your 1/3. You know, so our temptation is coming up, and that's the ultimate end all be all, man. And you're gonna have to worship either that. You're gonna worship this beast system, or you're gonna worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And God has told you to be faithful until death, and He'll give you a crown. You know? That's Satan, man.
Right. It says, verse 8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. Verse 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear.
So read that last one.
Verse 8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world.
Who the Lamb is talking about? It's talking about Yahweh Shah, man. You know, he was slain here, but he came. Matter of fact, you know what? I believe it's First Peter 3. But back that up right there. Because they put Yahweh Shah on that cross and put him down, right? You know? But guess what? He got all the glory in the heavens. Yep. This is our 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 18. It says, for Hamashiach also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us into the Most High, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. All right. So being quickened by the Spirit, what he went to the spirit world, then he came back and got this body up that they put into that tomb. They couldn't have that because that body was too holy for them, man. No, but he had to go through all that to come back in the spirit world to get that reference. Now all power is given unto him, man. You know, and when he comes back, he's going to take all these different kingdoms and nations down, man. You know.
I was just thinking when we came down here, Slocky. When we came down here, I got an alert on my phone that said, flash flood warning, don't leave the house. It was still raining, we got out the car. As soon as we come here, the rain stopped. 5-10 minutes later, you said you saw a rainbow. I turned around. And what did Scripture say that the rainbow represents?
Oh, promise. They had never destroyed the world with water. Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. And it told us to stay in.
Don't leave the house.
Because I was thinking like, damn, it was raining, we should have stayed in or whatever.
Right.
Because it was a storm.
Right. And we was like, no, we will still go down there. But I just thought about that.
All this was dropped. And all that out there was wet. Hey, man, that's a spirit, bro. And you had all these damn demons around.
Right.
Then they disappeared and they came back.
Salakia, but I just put all that the Lord put on my spirit to put all that together.
That's crazy.
That's about
damn.
That's about as powerful as a sign that it can be.
Right. And look what we bring out. You know? Look what we bring out, man.
Damn. Verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's right.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Check this out. So he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, right? So we're going to go to Zechariah 9:13. This is swift one. Zechariah chapter 9, in verse 13, it says, When I have bent Judah for me filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up the sons of Zion against thy sons, O priest, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And that's going into what? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So the Lord is going to raise up his men to put y'all into captivity, you know, like the sword, you know. Because what they said, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Just got back in Zechariah 9 and 13. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 12. It says, Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even to the day I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And Yahweh shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and Yahweh shall power, shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. Man. So basically, that's Israel taking back the kingdom.
God.
You know, the spirit of power, Yahweh Shah. Because Yahweh Shah is the one that's going to be the one to come and bring the havoc.
Hey, take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever.
That's right, man. That's right. That's why I say, yo, being a king here, you only got eight years top. You know, you could be a senator, but you ain't really making no noise, man. You know, you senator, you sit in the Senate. You know, just like in Rome, they had a Senate as well, man. You know, and they used to have their little debates and things like that. Man. So, hey, man, like you said, this is Rome 2.0, man.
Yeah.
Rome on steroids. You got it, bro.
It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's right.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And who was given that blessing of the sword? Esau.
That's right. That's right. So and what he do?
That's his blessing.
Yeah, God.
Hey, and that's why I say, reap what you sow too,
Yeah,
right?
God, that's right. Yeah. One of the Genesis. And that's how you know who was talking about as well. As a matter of fact, that's a good precept as well, man. You know? It's that 20. Hold on. There it goes. Right here. So this is Genesis chapter 27, and okay, chapter 27, starting at verse 38. This is Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. All right, so Joe, because Jacob at this point, Jacob had supplanted his own father to get the blessing, man. But it was already ordained, going back to Genesis 25, right? In 25, who was going to get the blessing of the king?
Right. So nobody stole anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
From anybody.
It was already, and here, the flesh and everybody gonna say that.
Right.
Through the spirit, if you look at it spiritually, it was already set up.
Right.
You know, because the Lord, hey man, he controls everything, so he do whatever he want to do. Of course, the blessing is supposed to go to the firstborn, all right, but the Lord said no.
Right.
You know, because he wanted, but that's why Esau came up that blessing, you know. So the Lord like, no, he's going to be
right.
So because at big time you can see he was the firstborn, you know, his skin, his bare being on his skin, all right, but it says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. All right, so that tells you right there. You want to rule you want to have the fatness of the earth, doing all that you have. You got all the resources to control everything. You know, you're ruling with the sword. You got your military set up everywhere on the planet. You know, you got the top force. Everybody's scared. But right now, all that's changing. Man. To the end of it. You know, but at one point in time, you had all that. Right. You know, but now it's coming to an end and you're very upset about that. You're doing the same thing you did in the beginning, man. Crying out. You know? You're crying again, because it said, yo, he's crying, man. Right. You know? He said he wept he lifted up his voice and wept, man. So he was crying, he's a bitch. You know? So you wept then, you're weeping now because you wanna come back in the power, you wanna keep your power. Yeah. All right. It says, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brothers. And who is your brother? That's who you're going to serve us. You know, and it says it right there. All right, but that's one way you know what it was talking about when it said, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, you know, because that's your blessing.
Right.
You know? So
right.
You know it's talking about Esau, it ain't talking about no other nation, you know, it's talking about y'all. And you other nations that follow after Esau, you're going to get the same punishment as them. You know? You gotta go.
And again, it proves the scriptures deal with nations of people.
That's right.
It ain't some of these people and some of that people.
That's right.
It's nation.
Right.
Nationhood. And that's the problem with Jake. He don't think about nationhood. Always thinking just about himself.
That's right. That's right.
And self-elites.
Right, yep. That's right. That's all they do, man.
Yeah. And it says, verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
I believe that's talking about what? Again, you got two horns like a lamb. I think that's the parties and all that.
Right, that's the Democrat and Republican.
Democrat and Republican.
Just like in the Rome, you know, they had two parties as well. Right? It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
That's right, because they got the Democrat, Republicans.
Right.
And they speak as a lamb. That's a lamb, man. You know? Oh yeah, we want to do this for you guys, and it's like, you know,
speak as a dragon.
Yeah. So matter of fact, and that's going to go into what? That dragon going into the draconian laws, man. All right, because they're about to come down with that great wrath, because they know they have a short time. All right, so they're going to speak with draconian laws. Now, how you know that's the case? Look at the whole C-19, right? When that happened, they told you that you had to. It was mandatory for you to wear masks.
Right.
You know, you couldn't even go in the buildings without a mask because they would put you up.
Right.
You know, before they used to, you couldn't. If you had a mask on going to a building like ski mask or anything like that, they told you couldn't come in. All right. So that's how you know they try to act like a lamb, but they speak as a dragon. With their laws and everything.
Right.
And all their laws is set up designed against who? The saints. You know, and their own people fall into that category as well, but basically it's going into what? It's set up for the Israelites, man. They want the downfall of Israel. You know? So yeah, man, you got your Democrat and your Republican Party, and they both are together, man. All right, just like the WWE and all that bullcrap, where you sit behind the scenes, they loving each other, but when they get in front of everybody, they had odds with each other.
Right.
You know, they go,
right.
Hogan versus Randy, Macho Man Savage. All the shit they used to talk to each other, man. You know?
Hey, yeah, like the brother said, they basically stripped out the arguments they got with each other.
Yeah,
it's nothing but a game,
that's
man.
Right. That's right.
You watching another soap opera.
That's right. And that's the truth, because that's a beautiful point that you brought out, because you said they scripted it out. And they don't even come off their own mind with their lectures, man.
Right.
Somebody writes it for them. And a lot of them read off of teleprompters. You know, a lot of them always got their head down. They teach them to read a couple lines and look back up and make it seem like they're the ones actually, like that's their actual thoughts, when it's really not their thoughts.
Hey.
It's another man's thoughts, and it's another man's agenda. He's just the face of it, man. You know? Hey,
they said, matter of fact, man, they probably calling each other that night. All right, so this is what I'm going to say. And hey, then you say that.
That's right.
Right? Come on, man. Your games are up.
Yo, just like in the NFL now.
Right.
Even with the NFL, man, you got teams now they practice together during preseason. You know, I'm gonna run like this, you hit me like that, and all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know? So all they doing, they practicing together, and they told you that they're practicing the script. That's it. They're just practicing the script, script it out, and you just play it out, man. If you don't play it out, they can kill you off the script, man.
And the two horns in the Roman Empire was the patricians and the plebeians.
Yeah,
so just again for edification's sake. No, play. The plebeians with a P.
Hey man, that's cool. Same thing.
Yeah.
America and because these Edomites, they're not stupid. That's why I said it has the wise men of Edom. They search these things out. Go to the Rockefellers, man, the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, and names like that. They can trace themselves all the way back to Nimrod, man. They'll tell you that. They trace themselves all the way back to Babylon. That's how far their bloodline goes back. Just like our bloodline goes back like that. But they damaged our records and hit them up. But their records they still got it because the earth was given it to them. They can do that, man. And then a lot of things when they took us down, like going back into the Renaissance era, they destroyed a lot of our things. Man. So we don't have record of it. Now right here we have record through the scriptures. And it's if our spirit bears witness with these scriptures, right? So it's all about it's a spiritual thing, man. Seeds have been mixed, races have been mixed and all that. So it goes back into your spirit, man. It's a spiritual thing, man. This ain't carnal. You carnal, the spirit definitely ain't working. Right? You got it, bro.
Verse 12. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
See that? And how is that he exercises all of that? God, Robert Oppenheimer, right? And he was an Army Lieutenant named Leslie Groves, and they're the ones that created that atomic bomb. All right, and that was in what 19? I forgot. I don't want to make it up, so I didn't even want to say the year, but we could look it up.
Yeah.
But in that, when they dropped those bombs, that's when everybody there's no moss. Right, basically, we don't want no
trouble.
Yeah, we don't want no smoke on them other nations, man. So, you got it again, Robert Bashar, bro?
Verse 12. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
So, what's that first beast? That's the Roman Empire. And how do they do that? Through the philosophies, their the philosophies, the governments,
the systems, right?
The system set up. Man. That's how you worship. Because if you don't, that's what we're about to get into. Revelation 13. I said, we usually end with it, but we started with it this week. And when we went through the whole chapter for you this time, for you to get a better understanding, because that chapter jumps around in different time periods. It ain't just talk about one specific time period. Different time periods come into the end time period, which is now. And that's why we usually end with it, because it's ended. That's the end all be all for this is our society right here.
So we waiting on.
I always love to end with that, man. That's a classic scripture there. Right?
Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
And matter of fact, check it out. Let's go here. Isaiah 14:6. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, and verse 6.
I got it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth.
That's right. And who is that? That's Esau. Because and that's going to that Revelation right there. Because ain't nobody want no smoke with him. Ain't nobody bothering him. But see, and the reason why that is because the Lord gave that man the power to do so. And the Lord has to be the one to take it away, which we went to what? And that what we read, Genesis 27, right? When you mentioned that, Esau's blessing. All right, so Isaac was Yahweh Shai, man. So he was the one that gave him that blessing. He got to be the one to take it away from him. And it's not going to be taken away from him until he fulfills all things that the Lord gave him to fulfill. All right, so if you're wondering when he's going to come out of power and this and that, all prophecy has to be fulfilled before that man comes out of power. All right, we could also hop into Revelations 18, 3. That's another one.
There's a book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
That's right, all nations. They drink at Esau's philosophy, his doctrine, the wrath of fornication, everything that she goes for. Even look at our homeland, Jerusalem, Yasharashara, man, the city of peace, man. Look what they doing over there, man. They got these rainbow guys, today, man, we saw the rainbow today. But we know what the rainbow actually stands for. But these happy people, they have parades over there. Butt naked parades. They run up and down the streets, and I'm talking about the streets where the ancient prophets walked through, man. The streets Yahweh Shah walked through, man. So they defile our land, so it has to be destroyed with fire. Man. It has to be purged and be brought back up. The same thing with this place, man. And all these other nations. You got the Palestinians. You got Arab, the Arabians. Who else, man? Iraq, Iran, all those nations right there, all those nations is angry because of the what they say, what's the name of that? One of America's democracy. That's what I believe. They said democracy creates happy people, man. And it weakens the nation. So they're tired of their democracy because it destroyed their nations. Man. Why do you think China? When they made the TikToks, they don't show stuff from over here. I remember at one point in time, I think it was Russia or China, one of them nations, they didn't even want the rappers from over here coming singing their songs. So these nations, and look at South Africa, you got the western coast of Africa, Nigeria, and all those different places. They're telling Americans, you gotta go. Even Haiti, man. The Haitians is like, American, if you from America, you gotta get up out of there, man. Because all the nations right now is sick of American stuff because that time is coming, man. And all the wickedness that they have done. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Right.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Right. Because look at all the drugs that people do here in America. America is one of the most places to get high all the time. And all these other nations, they send their stuff over here and these people buy it up like hotcakes. Whatever, the clothes, your sneakers, your cars, your a lot of materials that you use in your households, all those things is made over there and they're shipped over here. They shipped over here to Babylon and what? You buy it up. And you gotta buy that top dollar, man. Like a Mercedes made over there, they drive those for cabs over there. But over here, that's known as a luxury car. And they make it for cheap, but those places over there, they wax rich off of the stuff that we send over here, man.
Right, and I tell you, in some nations, just to land back on the brother, like you get caught with drugs, you get put to death.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing.
Like, forget going into your trunk and arrest. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they don't want that to pollute the society.
That's right. Look at that chick, Brittany Griner, what they did in Russia. They gave her, I forgot, they gave us some numbers, man. But in America had to negotiate to get it, and that's crazy because that's how they know how weak America is. They negotiated for a WNBA basketball player woman that's of the happy people, for arms maker for over here, the trade with, man. Because he go over there to make arms to destroy this place, man. So that right there that's like for them that was a no-brainer. They like, yeah, we'll trade her for that, because that was a better deal for them. But for here, these people, oh yeah, just help the Americans. There's still Americans over there, man. that's you know, that's probably not on that level or whatever, but she's not even on that level. You know, she's an abomination according to the scriptures. And she's an Israelite. You know?
Yeah.
There's one more. It's some more now.
For the 18?
Yeah, that.
I think it's just the one that said, "Come out of her, my people."
Then we got Psalms, I think 101. No, Psalms 10 and 2. Start at 2. All the way to 4. Psalms chapter 10 and 2. Bible Rashad.
Come on. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor.
That's right.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
That's right.
For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous whom Yahweh abhorreth.
See that? Yo, bless yo. So they boasted in their heart's desire. What are they doing now? You know, everybody got to get seated. You know, they mandating a lot of things, man. You know, and it's all to put you in harm's way, basically, man. You know, and the ones that the Lord loves, which is His people, man. They talk bad about us. They put us down. But the ones that the Lord abhors, which is these other nations and them, they lift them up and put them on a pedestal, man. And they all go hand in hand and tie in with each other to try to bring us down, man. And that's what this Vadar situation is about. You know, it's about, if you're going to trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Arachakodash, or you going to just go with them and keep going with the flow. All right, because if you go with the flow, you're going to get flowed off with that constant rain, man. You know, the Nico that listens, man. You know, the scriptures say we persuade men with the terror of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We're not just talking crazy, man. You know, look at that hurricane that just came through, man. Look at the magnitude of that and all the waters and the rivers. I've seen videos. I'm like, dang.
You see what happened in Morocco?
Oh,
Friday. Yeah, read on that. There's like over 1,000 people dead. Earthquake. Earthquake.
And it was like a Muslim temple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw that. I just saw that this morning, man. Yeah, so yo, man, and yo, also,
that's not Mother Nature. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Yahweh's name. That's not Mother Nature.
That's another. That's
why he's the king of terrorists.
That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. You know, talking about Mother Nature when you know it's, like you said, the king of terrorists. You know? But see, they talk about it because now they're given certain technology where they can manipulate weathers and stuff like that. So they think that they have gotten that much wisdom over him, man.
Yeah. And guess what? And when you use it, it's just the Lord putting the spirit on you to use it. Right. So you're doing His will anyway. Right. So it's still through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Not your own will, dummies.
Right.
And hey, just to land back off what you're saying, with the Vlade Diva, right? Yo, they what it say? A house divided can't stand. So you had the Florida governor with his state medical doctor, you know, telling people don't take. He said don't take the Vlade Diva. Don't take it. Don't take the booster, the new booster. Don't take it. Said it didn't even go through clinical trials, human clinical trials. You know, and you got the Beltway, the Bible Beltway. They not taking it either.
But the Beltway people, the Bible Beltway, they really believe they the people of this book.
Right.
They believe it.
Right.
You know? So that's man, that's a scary thing, man. You know, to think like that, and you not the people.
Yeah. But that's where that divide is going to come to a head.
That's right. Yeah.
Especially when they start again those mandates, right? Hey man, yeah, people losing their jobs, right?
That's right.
At first it started out voluntary. Yeah. Then they tell you, you know, take it to save a life. Then you find out when you take it, you still can get it, and you can still pass it over, right? So all these truths started coming out, right? And so many of the people, hey, they stood their ground and said, I'm not taking it.
Right.
And hey, so they divided.
And
They
that's the
divided.
smooth thing. That's the smooth thing to speak to, man.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah, just go ahead. It's good for you. Hit hard, man. Then you come to find out when the information passed too late, man.
right,
Because that was their whole point, was to get you to, go with what they said, because they know it's going to come out eventually.
right. It's a trial run, and that was a trial run anyway.
Exactly.
So they gonna scare you jakes that took it to get this see him now.
That's right, yeah. And that's ultimately that's what it's about.
Yeah. And it says 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles,
Right.
which he had power to do in the sight of the beast,
Yeah. Right.
saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
So that image is what? Like you said, the Renaissance is going back to that. That they should make an image to it, and which that the parties, the policies, the systems, man. That's the image. It's not talking about no Caesar Borgia, man. Because you got some Israelite camps that teach that nonsense, man. It's just system. The beast system and all that.
Right, and it goes back to the Roman system.
Yeah, that's right. So they made an image to it, and America mirrors. If you look into a mirror, you see your image. So all America is doing is mirroring the Romans' image, man. Their whole system and everything that they was about. From the Senate to the Republican and the Democratic Party, the about the other names for them. You have the senators,
Yep.
your mayors. You have all that, man, in Rome, man.
Yeah, and what are some of the big images? The eagle, right?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The Rome was heavy on the eagle.
Yeah.
America, even Babylon had the eagle as a logo, man.
Huh.
So all it is just a mirror. You just mirror what somebody else has done. All right.
Huh. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
Yeah, that's life. That's actually getting it done. Making it happen. Not just looking at it, but actually putting it into play and making it a thing that you have to do.
And who's that he? It's talking about the elites.
That's right. Yeah.
Of Esau Edom.
That's right.
Hey, I forgot who said it, but it may have been Rothschild, right? That said, hey, I don't care who's in the government.
Yeah.
No, I ain't worried about that. Give me the money the money has the power.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, give me control over the nation's power.
Yeah.
And, give
money.
me control over the nation's money, and
Yeah.
I care not who makes them wrong.
Right.
That's all they want.
Right.
Money, power, respect.
So that's who gave that power,
That's
right? The elites. And he said, unto the image of the beast. And the brother went into the image of the beast, basically that Roman system.
That's right.
Not a picture.
That's right.
Caesar Borgia,
Yeah,
right?
You got dudes that actually teach that. Man.
Right.
I heard that before.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, the image of the beast.
Right.
Yeah, that's Caesar Borgia.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Right.
Come on, man. You niggas is crazy.
That the image of the beast should go speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
That's right. And that's what's about to happen. Because the new system now, what's that beast going? What, NATO? You got NATO now. All right, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And throughout the whole planet, that's why it's called the hour of temptation. Everybody's going to be forced to take the RFID microchip, man. And if you don't take it, they're going to put your ass to death, man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's actual movies on it, man. Look at this abomination right here, man. That's crazy. It's a whole man, Yeah, he's gonna be. Well, he might take it. So I hope he will, man.
Yeah.
Doing that.
No star.
Yeah,
No
man.
star.
But man, and that they're going to do it. They had, matter of fact, it's a movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a Jake. They was all in concentration camps, and they had all these guillotines lined up. They had Jake walking up there. He was cuffed, his hands behind his back and everything. And he quoted, I forgot what scripture he was quoting. Matter of fact, I think he was quoting this one right here. Revelations 13 and 16 he was quoting. And they took him to the guillotine, put his head down there, he still quoted it until they chopped his head off. You know, so that's what they have in plan. Yo, they don't make movies just for entertainment.
Right.
So don't get that twisted. The movies that they make about stuff like that, they're telling you what they're going to do, man.
Right.
And that's one of their devices.
It's a fear tactic too.
There you go, yeah. That's one of their devices.
Right.
So you're thinking about it in your mind,
right.
constantly is going to bump you out.
Yeah, and then when it comes to pass, you're like, oh, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
if that's the case, oh, whatever you say, no, because you want to stay in that life is really the way of life, as the brother was saying, the lifestyle.
That's right.
You know, following after what the government tells you to do.
Right. And that's not even living right there.
No.
You're still a slave, man. Yeah. You're in prison, man. You know, living like that, man. You know? And while you think that they're putting together all these smart cities, Philadelphia is one of those on the list. Philadelphia. Then you got I wanted to bring an article out, but I can't find it. But it said Pennsylvania, Philly, PA. You got New Jersey and Delaware. They are FEMA disaster ready cities or areas where they want to. If a disaster happens, they're going to gather the people up. Well, FEMA going to say, oh yeah, come here. We're going to take care of you.
Right.
Well, when they start gathering you up, that's not nothing good, right?
Right.
You know, because they're the ones that cause the disaster. Problem, solution, problem, reaction,
solution. Yeah.
So that's what they do. They
order out of chaos. Order out of chaos.
So they create the problem.
Yeah.
Then they got the reaction for it. Now the solution is, we're just going to put them over there. You know, if people going to react, and the solution is where they put you in. So once they start gathering you up, it's over. You know, because they're going to take you and they call them what? Re-education centers. All right. So and how is it called? Why is it called a re-education center? Because everything that you've been taught, they want to wipe your mind away from it. Like, no, it's not like that anymore. This is how it is. You got to agree to that. If you don't agree to that, they're going to put your ass to death. You know? You take the chip or die. That's how it's going down.
Right. You live off the grid because you're not going to be able to partake in their society, the New World Order.
That's right. Yeah. Now, who would want to live in a society like that where they control everything that you do, man?
Yeah.
You know, they trying to even control your goddamn thoughts, man. You know, you got it, bro.
Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
And that don't matter where you get it at. And how are they tricking the people into getting it now? Like people that's paralyzed. You might have got a family member that's been shot and he's been in a wheelchair for a while or whatever, he can't walk. They'll be like, oh, well, you know what? Just put this chip in him and he'll be able to walk again. There's an actual video on that. It's a man that's been paralyzed for a long time. He couldn't walk. They put the chip in him. And matter of fact, they put it in different parts of his body. So he all chipped up. So he's done. You know? And he was able to get up. And what the chip does, it sends a signal to your brain that makes your body move again. And you're able to move. But that's like, hey, man, you're going to have men that actually get that power to make people that actually heal people going into the book of Acts, man. You know, so you're being fooled either way, man. Because you're trusting in his technology when the Lord got control over you, he got control over him. And he's the reason why they got the technology to do what they're doing, man. Because it's coming to a time where you're going to have to pick a side, man. Either you're going to pick what this man gives you, or you're going to pick what the Lord has for you. And you're rather to pick what the Lord has for you and deny everything here because the reward is that much bigger.
And just to go into some of the words so that you can understand, since we're breaking this down today, causeth, if you look at that word in the Greek, is poio, and that means to make ready. You know, so when they're making ready, they're getting you ready to accept what they're about to bring as a solution. That's why you see in Whole Foods, what do you see? Now you put your palm on there, right?
Making you sensitive.
Right. Getting you acclimated to what they want to put in that right hand. Right? So he's making that ready. He calls it. And it's to receive that Greek word is didomi. So that means to give something. Right? And then Mark, we know, is Karagma,
That's right. Yeah.
right? Which means to impale,
That's right.
to etch in, going beneath the surface.
Yeah.
So,
To make it cutting of your flesh.
right. So it's clear. If I mean, it's black and white. It's as clear as it can get. If you go into the scriptures,
That's right.
what
And-
this thing they're about to apply on us means.
That's right. And yo, then like you said, and that's a beautiful way as well because you're supposed to look up the words you're going to. All right, because certain words you think you know the meaning of it until you look it up.
Yeah.
There's certain words that you think you know the meaning of, and then you go into the etymology and you're like, oh snap, I thought it meant this, but damn, it actually means this, man. You know, that's why you have to go back to the pure form of a word.
And what does Elon Musk have? He's got that Neuralink, right? That he's got to put in your forehead. So when John is saying these things, you know, he's basically saying people going in the head. And what did they do when you had to get the Vlade Diva? They had to scan you, right, for your temperature, right? That's what he's saying. That's a step. That's just making you ready to be conditioned.
That's right.
To have those things happen to purchase something.
And that's when they did that, when the whole pandemic started, man.
Right.
That's when you first saw them little scanners. But you saw them in movies before.
Right.
You know, but now you physically see them, they sell them and they everywhere now.
Right.
You know, so yeah, man.
Who would imagine you would go to a Whole Foods grocery store and put your palm,
exactly.
right?
Pay with your palm.
Right.
People happy about that. Oh shit.
Right. Again, this is just conditioning you
Right, yeah.
to receive that mark, to receive the MOTB.
Because it's going to be like normal to you.
It's going, yeah.
Like you train
It's
up
just
kids,
stages.
Like the little kids see that.
Right.
They
Yeah.
by the time they train up.
Yeah. Before that, it was just it was in your card, right?
Yep.
Your credit card. Boom. Now it's a chip in it.
Yep. Yeah.
Boom. Now they put in your phone. Now you can pay by the phone. Boom.
Yep.
Chip in that, right?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Palm. Boom.
At its best, at its finest.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, yo, that's a good analysis, bro.
And it says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Right. So, hey, man, you're not, what's that? Read that again, somebody.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Right. So, if you don't get that MOTB or that C-hip, that thing in your hand or your forehead, you're not going to be able to buy it, sell. Go into these stores, and yo, that's why they starting to lock everything up. When you go to certain stores, they got the frozen stuff is behind in the refrigerator. You can't open it up with your regular hand. You gotta have that thing to open it up, man. Or you can open it, go and put your groceries in, because with that, as soon as you tap whatever you get out of there, it's already going to your chip. So it's already paid for you. So you put it in there. You ain't gonna have to go to the registers no more. You know, like a whole lot of things is going to change, man. And they got certain markets you can't even get into now. You know, like Whole Foods, certain ones. You know, you got your Amazon markets. You can't get to there unless you got that little thing to get in there.
Right.
So they shutting slowly but surely. They're shutting down the food.
And hey, they had a trial run on that too, because if you wasn't Vlade Divac, you weren't vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't go into certain stores.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Hey, remember
You couldn't even get certain jobs.
we were in New York at one time,
Yeah,
and we couldn't eat. There were certain restaurants.
Yeah, you couldn't even sit down and eat.
No.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold as shit. Yo, you couldn't.
It was like, hey, I can't come
in. Be like, no.
It's like you can't come here.
Hey,
Yeah.
Y'all can eat out there.
Yeah, man, you know, outside.
They had a
right?
little fires going on.
Right.
God damn. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yo, it was football season. I remember that.
Right.
It was cold as hell out there. Man.
John.
You know? Hey, man. Yo, damn, I forgot about
That was a trial run right there.
Yeah. They had.
Yeah, it's like, nah, y'all can't come.
Yeah, they like, oh, nah.
Yeah.
And seeing that, and so just to go into a place like that,
Right.
Like,
That was nothing but a little hole in the wall.
Yeah,
That wasn't
exactly.
no fancy.
So why would you want to give up your salvation for something like that?
Right.
That's crazy.
You're just getting wings.
God. Listen to it.
Hey, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Ain't say nothing.
And then she got on the bus?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why she was running. Okay.
Yeah. That's crazy. She was listening the whole
Hey.
time. So
Yeah.
she must have saw us over there and came and just
Right.
paid attention.
Oh,
She didn't
man,
say
that's
nothing,
beautiful.
man. All on
Yeah, hey.
outside.
Hey, let the woman learn
Yeah,
science with all subjection.
That's right. She could be a righteous woman, you know.
Yeah.
Boom.
And so, yeah, as just to land back on what brother was saying, so save he is basically except for. So
Right.
if you don't have it, then you're out of society. You're off the grid. You're gonna be off the grid.
That's right.
Verse 18.
And yo, man, slap you real
Go ahead,
fast. Like that song from Public Enemy. What you gonna do when the grid goes down? You know? Because you ain't gonna have your phones and all this and that. Because they're gonna take everything from you. You know? They're gonna take everything from you. So you'll comply with this, man. Because everything right now is about convenience. People can't struggle no more, man. They can't go without anymore. They have to have it. They gotta have this. They gotta have that. Oh man, the Lord's gonna take all of it away. The only thing you need is your eye by Shem shine, man.
Right.
Shem dots.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's it. What you gotta go.
Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Right, which we always bring out. A Kasai stigma, and the stigma goes into that inserting as well, which is 666. But the stigma is what? And that incision. Now, how do they put that into your body? They insert it. All right, so that's a physical mark. It's not no sleeping with the white woman, you know. Because if that's the case, I'd have been happy. You know, it's not no philosophy. It's not sin.
Right.
It's that sin.
And you can't go back from it. That's the thing. Everyone's been in Christianity. Everyone has dealt with other nations, right? You can't come back from that. Hey man, even the Bible Belt folks know that. We've listened. The brother had that on one of his clips, right? They were saying,
And
you know,
that's a heavy yo man. That's a heavy derision to feel. Knowing like you got that's man. It's so crazy because you got all these men out here teaching against this. That's how you know that it's the truth, man. You got so many people going against something, you gotta know it's the truth, man. You know?
And you got so many people, other people trying to shut this word down.
That's right.
Trying to shut us down.
That's right.
And trying to label it as hate speech.
Yep.
Trying to label it as domestic terrorism. No, this is the Bible.
That's right. So with the
You're lying.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, you're lying. This is the Bible.
Right.
Thus saith Yahweh Shem Shah.
That's right. Because when they try to label you as a domestic terrorist, that means because you're a threat to their money, man, their money system and their doctrines.
Right.
That's the reason why they label you as that. And when they say things like that, that's to play on the people's mind.
Right.
You know,
fear tactic to make them fearful of us.
That's right.
You know.
Don't deal with those guys.
Right.
You see them out in the corner, they're domestic terrorists.
Hey, we're the most peaceful people you ever want to be around.
Most kind people, forgiving.
Right. Kind-hearted.
And how you say charity.
Right.
You know, brothers give you stuff on their butt. They have their brothers
Right.
give you stuff they got it, they give it away, man. You know? That's it on that, right?
Beautiful.
Let's go Deuteronomy 18:20. Just to touch on what we just hopped into, right? The ones that oppose what we just went into on Revelation the 13th chapter. You know, you got the breakdown, the school stuff you could have brought out, man. That's just a little quick, you know, about read through, man. We can go more into detail. You know, we'll be out all day with that.
Hey, you guys do some work.
That's right.
Hey, we're giving you we're planting the seed.
That's right.
Go,
that's
do the work.
That's an in-depth chapter right there, man. You know, which right now holds a lot of weight, man. You know, you got the apostles going through a lot of breakdowns right now. You know, so we're going to try to stay up on ours as well. You know?
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 20. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
That's right. So all these dudes out here that's speaking. You got men that speaking in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got these other dudes speaking in the name of Christ, you know, Jesus and all that, the God and all that stuff. Yo, they going to get put to death, man. You know, because the Lord ain't sinning. And furthermore, they're teaching you lies, man. All right? We're giving you the truth, man. You know, and these the things that we're giving you is things that you can go look up and research for yourself to see if we told you the truth or not. You know, if we told you a lie, then that makes us false prophets, man. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not dealing with us, and he ain't sinners, man. You know.
John got a precept on that
Right,
too.
bro.
Hey, man. So that you hearing that from the first 5 books of the law,
That's
right?
right. You
And
know,
now
that's right.
the last book,
God.
the last chapter,
God.
and close to the last verse.
Damn.
There's a book of Revelation
God.
22, verse 18, just to back up the brother in the scripture, right?
God.
Where I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book.
That's right.
If any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book.
That's right. So you're going to add on to the plagues, man. And yo, you got plagues that's written in here and plagues that's not written. You know? And you're going to get all of that. And mainly the main plagues is what? Those missiles, man. That's the main plague that's in this book is those missiles. That's the ones that come. That's why you see the brothers reading this in the end, man. In the last chapter, man. All right? Because that's going to be the last thing that happens in Babylon. The last thing that you're going to see if you're alive on this planet is going to be those missiles in the air, man. Coming right to you.
Verse 19, it says, and if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life
Right.
and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book.
Man, so you're going to get your reward while you're going to be in the kingdom, you know? But at the end of the but you're going to see a horrible, horrible, horrible death. You're not going to be able to get on the chariot, man. You know? You're going to be right here looking up at the men of the Lord being beamed up, wishing that you was going to see that salvation.
Right.
The same way, just like those men and women and children and all that was in the time of Noah, man. How you think that they was looking at the ark, man, when that water started coming down? After all the scoffing that they did, all those years that Noah was out there teaching and everything, same time he teaching, he building, you know, and gathering things right in front of your face so you can see the things that's happening. And it all happened in gradualization, man. It ain't happened overnight. The Lord didn't just tell you, yo, I'm going to flood this place or hurry up, build this earth. And he built it in one day. No, man, I had to take it. It was a time period, man. So the Lord put his men out here for a time to speak and to show you what's happening. Just like you got this dude who polite, man, where he just got sentenced. So now he's sitting in the jail right now, man. Probably a county jail till he gets shipped off into the state, you know. But yo, I believe polite, he might die there, man.
Yeah.
You know, because he's one of the major ones that was going against the apostles back in that time, man. I'm talking about he was going hard.
Hey, he shot up the Bible.
And said now it's the Holy Bible. You know?
Right.
And that nigga, man. And I told him, man, because he hit me on Instagram. I told him straight. I said, yo, nigga. I said, because he did a live not too long ago. And I told him straight up. I said, man, you better admit that you lied on the apostles. Because they didn't commit no rapes and nothing like that. Little girls and all that stuff. I said they ain't do none of that. They told you at the age of when a girl becomes a woman when she has her flower, when she has a period, because now she's able to
bring life
to have bring life to the girl. You know, and a man becomes a man when he starts busting nuts, man. You know, and you're able to fertilize something. You know, and usually that happens around 12 years old, man. And they ain't never tell you to go out there and do nothing with it. That's just the age that it happens. And we also going to Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, going down to about the 28th verse. I'll probably read it. It goes into the whole. Matter of fact, let me go first. I'm talking about it. But it tells you the consequences of what happened with that act. All right. Not saying that the apostles ever did it, but this was done in the ancient time, man. But you can't. That's why you can't follow all your laws here in Babylon.
All right.
All right. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 22 and 28. It says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is you go into that word virgin, I think it's Bethua, Bakua, which is a virgin, which is a pure virgin that has never been touched. All right, you got Alma, which is a virgin, which is a woman that's of a marriageable age, meaning she's been touched already. All right, that's what Mary was, because Joseph had already ran her with. All right, but it says, verse 28 again, Deuteronomy 22 and 28, it says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 55 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. And you know, humbled, you slept with her, man. You did, but you found her, you laid hands on her, so you took her with you. That's the whole rape right there. That's the act of rape. Putting your hands on somebody and taking them with force, man. It has nothing to do with sex, it has nothing to do with laying down with the woman. It's taking her by force. You know, so this man said he actually committed that rape. Because what you do, you took a little girl by force, man. You know, and you laid with her.
Yeah, or he drugged her all up too.
Yeah, and that's wicked, man. You drugged her all up with all this stuff. You was on your Bill Cosby. You know?
Giving her pudding.
Giving her pudding. Dogs. You know, so you did that. Now look at you, because you actually did that for men that you accused of doing it, man. And it tells you who's the righteous one and who's the wicked, because the wicked one is sitting in jail right now. For what? 7 years, man. So the Lord completed your wicked ass. You know? And America doesn't have 7 years left, man. All right? So, hey, man, you're going to catch a lot of hell with it, man. All right? But then it says you have to, so if you was to commit that act in the ancient time, and the woman that wasn't betrothed to a man, she was just a regular woman, she was nice, you grabbed her, you still have to pay for her father, because the reason why you got to pay her father, because you took away what he wanted to do with that woman. Because the daughter belongs to the father until he gives her away, man. You know, and he still gets paid for it. So now you have to pay the father, and she becomes a wife, and you can't put her away.
But what he did was off anyway, because he was dealing with her mom.
Exactly. There you go. Yep.
So you can't get with a mom and a daughter.
So that's how you know that we go by the scriptures, man.
Right.
We out here really teaching the scriptures the way they're supposed to be taught. Not out of our own emotion, our own feeling. We're going through it, reading it to you, researching on it, and bringing it, presenting it to you the way it's supposed to be presented. Man. But the way you've been indoctrinated here in Babylon, it sounds like crazy to you, man. All right, well, this is the old way, man. All right. So it's laws and rules for everything that we do, man. We are a lawful people. That's why we're set apart from the rest of the other people. You know, what Polite did, he committed, like, he was so into Kemetic doctrine and all that. That's some shit they would do anyway, man. Because they don't have no laws to guide them. We're the laws of this earth, man. All right, we're here to set the laws and follow them and make you follow them. All right.
Hey, and again, you go into Judges. What did they tell the tribe of Benjamin to do? 200 men. They say, hey, when the daughters of Shiloh come out and dance, catch you a wife and take them. And take them. Right? What do you think they did? Hey,
they say
get on one knee. Yeah, right.
They do all that.
No. And then what did the other tribes do? They said when the men of that land, they're going to say, be favorable upon them, because we wiped up all their women. So we didn't want this tribe to go extinct.
That's right, yeah, good.
Because they said, cursed be the tribe that give a wife to a Benjamin at that time, right?
And you know, Benjamin, wow.
Right. Right.
Till this day, that's their spirit, man. They got a wild, lively spirit, man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Judges 21 and 23.
Come, bring it out.
And the children of Benjamin did so, and took them wives, according to their number of them that danced, whom they caught.
See that?
And they went and returned unto their inheritance, and repaired the cities and dwelt in them.
It said went in them, broke in them, because they took them, right? They ain't have sex with them right there. They just
took them.
You know, I want her. They grabbed them up.
Grabbed them.
You know, so that's the act of rape, man.
Right.
Not putting your rod into it. Of course, eventually you're going to do that because you're going to take her by force. Like, come on, you not. You know, like even when it's in the road, we go to a girl, you walk up to her, yo, what's up, girl? You grab the period, girl. Come with me, you know. And that's what Jake do, man. You know, and because why? That's in our genes, man. That's in our DNA, man. You know, that ain't nothing wicked, especially. But see, here in Babylon, you know, we did that as children. Welcome to the career, girl. Come with me, man. So we don't know if here ain't no girl can talk to another man or whatever, but you know, she might have a boyfriend, but still she's dealing with another man, so you can't do it. So, and because if you do go into it, matter of fact,
yeah, you can't leave her. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
We're wicked because we think, hey, man, we're going to deal with her for about a year or so, or until we get tired, and then we're going to find another one.
That's right.
Right? That's the wickedness.
Yeah. And see, now this is the act that you would get put to death for if you do the same thing, right? So we're going to jump into verse 23 in Deuteronomy 22. It says, if a damsel that is a virgin, which I said, Bakuwa, is virgin, be betrothed unto a husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones, that they should die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's wife. You know, so that's the neighbor. That's how you know it's somebody that lives next door.
Right.
The neighbor's wife is that's your brother.
And that's how strict these laws are, right? Because it's betrothed.
Right.
She's already promised to somebody.
That's right. Yeah.
So
that's
you know.
So that's your brother's property.
Yeah.
And she's a virgin, so she belongs to that man.
Right.
Because she's promised. So if you're going to take some of this promise to somebody else, you know what? Both of y'all can do it.
Right. If she don't cry out.
Yeah.
So she must have wanted it, right? She being sneaky and slick too.
That's right. Lord, no, check it out. This punishment for her, that if she gets taken and she gets popped, right, and she cries out and there's nobody around, she don't get. The man still get put to death because there's nobody around to help her. And it says 125. It says, but if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and it says, but if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her to lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel that thou shalt do nothing, thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death, for as when a man raiseth against her his neighbor and slaying him, even so is this matter, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. So yeah, man. So basically, there's nobody around that she's crying out. Can't nobody come and save her, because if she's crying out, that means you're gonna put the man to death. Like, hold up, she cried out. So she don't belong to you, you know. So that's the difference between a woman not crying out and will save her ass, and a woman crying out, you know.
But in both of these situations, that woman was betrothed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to somebody.
Right.
You know, and the third one was the first one we went into, the woman that wasn't betrothed. You know, so she's fair game. You know, if you grab up, yo, come on, you come with me, you want whatever. But you still have to pay the father, man. You know, and that's righteousness, man. You know, we all about righteous laws out here, man. You know, but this place you can do whatever the hell you want. These women, they sleep with other men, you know, and nothing happens with that. Nobody can put to death for that. That's normal here in Babylon, man. And
well, you trying to sleep with your even one of your best friends, their woman.
Niggas do that all the time, man.
You think that's a trophy? You get a trophy for that. There's songs, rap songs, and
That's how I fucked your bitch.
Right,
And I had Biggie Tupac.
Right.
When he was going at it with Biggie.
right.
You know? And that's crazy. And they was once homeboys at one time.
Yeah.
You know? They used to stay in the same room together, you know, chill together and all that, man. Rap together, you know, do shows together. And now you sleep with the man white, man, that's a wicked act.
Right.
And she did, and if that really happened, she did it. As a matter of fact, the Most High put both of them happen.
Right.
You know? If that nigga Pop really did, but if not, it don't matter. You're not around right now. Alright? Biggie, you put the death, Pop, you put the death, man. You got put to death by the Most High for being wicked. And a lot of these rappers now, they get the same person. Because that's all you niggas talk about, you glorify sin, man. You know? The Lord is not dealing with that shit. But let's hop into Ezekiel 13 and 9 real quick, Baba Bashar. We got a couple more. How long we doing?
Almost 2.
We coming to the end of this thing, man.
Ezekiel 15.
Ezekiel 13 and 9, Baba Bashar. That's the God touch on these false prophets, man. You know? But that's what we out here to defend against, man. The false doctrines, the false ways, the false philosophies. Then there you go right there. Ain't that some shit?
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13 and 9. And mine hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel. Neither shall they enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh,
That's right. So
thy power.
The Lord is not dealing with these dudes, man. This nigga just trying to be slick.
What is
Well,
that?
he came up with the camera like this. As soon as I turn and look at him, he's gonna be like that. See that? And that's Jake. That's some shit, man.
Right.
So females, and yo, that's how you know they think we expect
Right. Or they think we scared that you putting us. They already know who we are.
Yeah, you think we
Nobody ain't worried about that.
Yeah, like we're circus acts or something. We out here teaching the truth.
Right.
While you niggas sit home hiding.
Right.
You know? But read that one more time.
Scared to death.
Matter of fact,
Scary.
Start at verse 8, Baba Bashar.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13, verse 8. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies. Therefore, behold, I am against you, saith Yahweh thy power.
Like the Lord is against these dudes that's out here speaking lies, ton of false visions, you know, speaking vain things, saying Jacob's trouble is not going to happen. You know, even these men in the church, mainly them, man. But I'm talking about you Israelite camps and everything out here that's going against the doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It's come from the apostle that was a great millstone, man. You know, and you speak bold things, man. You know, and the Lord is against you, and you don't even dig it, because all He's doing is setting you up so when everything hits the fan, you're going to be found to be a liar. You know. We're going to be found to tell the truth and stand righteously for Yahweh outside. Boldly. And hopefully to be delivered, man, because we're out here speaking the true one for 100% doctrine of Yahweh outside.
Verse 9. And my hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies.
See, that see vanity and divine lies, man. So we have these visions that you tell people that's never going to come to pass. Like this guy, Martin Lucifer King, man. His dream. What was his dream? He had a dream that white boys and white girls and all that be together. You know? Okay. But that wasn't the Lord's vision, man. All right? The Lord's vision, the Lord is a separatist, man. All right? He don't want us being around these other nations. Why? Because they can corrupt you, man. All right? That's why he wants you to be separate. And we are separate because we are a holy people, man.
Right.
So once you start integrating and all that, everybody's customs become mixed together, and this people customs they think that they all got their different customs, and you can turn from your own customs
Right.
and latch hold of theirs, and that's what actually happened. You know, you can actually start following the customs of the heathen. Now look what happened in Egypt. That's why Jeremiah was so heavy on that. He said, learn not to wear the heathen and choose none of his ways. You're not supposed to learn none of his ways. Or choose them. Because if you choose them, it's death. And you're choosing that over Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Ba'ashim Yahushai.
They shall not be. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh power.
That's right, because he's going to cut their ass off, right? The ones that's written, they're the ones that's going to make it. All right, and they've been preordained from the beginning of time when the Lord put this whole thing together. When he sat in his mind and he pondered on what he was going to do, he put it together, and he had chosen people from the beginning to the end, man, in different areas, man. And then everything was already written out. All we're doing is we're just living it, man. Sometimes it gets frustrating, of course, because you go through a lot of things, man. You're going to get attacked, you're going to get tested. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get tried, you're supposed to get tested. And a lot of times you get tested when you're alone, man. Look at Yahweh Shah. I always say that because Yahweh Shah is the ultimate example of that, man. When he was up on the mount, man, they took him up there. He got tested by himself, man. He passed with flying colors. All right.
And the bottom line is we want to be away from all wickedness.
That's right. Huh?
We want to be able to serve our power the way we're supposed to. That's according to the law, statutes, and commandments of this Bible. And we don't care if other people don't like it. So what? Right. Whether you like it, believe it, understand it or not, that's what we want.
That's right.
But right now, we can't do that.
That's right. That's right.
So that's the most frustrating. Because we want to, through the spirit, power, mercy, grace, Yahweh Shemel Shah, we will serve him the way he's supposed to be served. We don't care what y'all do.
Right. Come out with it, read it to Just like Apostle Torah said. Well, no, it wasn't here, it was Apostle Torah. When we was coming down there, he said, man, when you give the sin with that shit, he said, man, don't take it. Right. He said, even if they tell you, so you ever die, I'm gonna take that.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Yahweh Shah died for us.
Hey, but they so worried about what we doing, right? As men of the Lord, and all we want to do is serve our God, right. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakon Kadash, right. The way he's supposed to be served, right. And praised, and right. Magnified, and glorified. Come.
And that's what he requires of us, man. He requires that of us. Matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah 14:14. Probably start at verse 13, like a shot. That's the boy right there. Trying to probably phone somebody.
Right. Yeah, we got him. He's there.
Could be a girl, son. They really think that we're a circus show, man. And everything so happens, and then that's when they're going to want to come running, man. Because the Lord, I'm telling you, we're not going to be out here too much longer.
Right.
But everything happening in this world, man, in society, and I see how everything is happening in Israel. With the lessons that's coming out, man, certain brothers can't even do videos anymore, so they got to go live and all that. Because we saw us tamper with everything, man. So we bring it out. We bring it out how we bring it out. You
said Jeremiah 13, what?
14 and 13.
Okay. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 13. Then said Yahweh, thy power, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall you have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place.
See that? And that's around the time Jeremiah was prophesying. That's what they was telling the prophets that was with the king. I believe it was the king of Judah, right? I forgot that king's name, but they was telling the king, like, listen, this ain't gonna happen. Jeremiah's talking about he's crazy. He don't know what he's talking about. That's the same thing right now. That's why, when we said the prophets before us, that's what we named it, right? And that's the first scripture that the brother brought up. The prophets before us, that prophesied against great kingdoms, great wars, pestilence, and
Many
all,
countries.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So it's nothing new under the sun. What this good God, man. It always comes to the end, man.
Hey, well, hey, that's the alarm. That's the warning.
Yeah. Bring the alarm. That's God.
Whoa, hey.
So we you know, so they read that again, brother Deshaun. 14, 13.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 13.
The point is 14.
Then said I, Yahweh thy power, behold, the prophets say unto them, ye shall not see the sword, neither shall you have famine, but I will give you a short peace in this place.
And that's what you got these churches doing that. Prosperity. Yo, Nate himself even said that. Oh, Jacob's trouble's not going to happen. Yo, you got these Christians walking around now in derision, man. That's why we say the wacky tacky Christians. Because they really think that they're going to be raptured out of here before all hell breaks loose, man.
Right.
They already think that they're saved. That's a heavy derision, man. So the prophets, that's a false prophet telling them those things, man. Another false prophet is telling you, oh, you can take the seed. So they basically tell you if you take it, you're still gonna be cool, man. Right. Because they're telling you it's not what we're saying it is, man. So that's them. They're hirelings, and they don't care about they don't care about the flock. They don't care about the people. All they care about is lining their pockets. This money is depreciated.
Right.
You know, it's already done for them. So why the hell would you sell out for it at this point in time? You know, what you're gonna have when you start trying to spend it. Look at Polite and all those Bentleys and things that he was driving, and now look at him. What is he driving now? He's sitting in a 8x4, something like that. You know, with another man. Got to use the bathroom in the same room on a metal toilet.
Right.
You know, that's not living, man.
Who gets the top bunk? Who gets the bottom bunk?
And them bunks is hard as hell.
Right.
Trust me, I've been there. You know, no, that's not a good position to be in. You know, another man telling you to use the bathroom to come out and all that. That's not a good position.
Right.
You know.
Hey.
Hey man, soon you all going to concentration camps. You know. So that's hey man, that's inevitable.
Wickedness too.
But going against, but hey man, you're gonna have some that get locked up. You're gonna have some that be on the run. You know, it's gonna escape this thing. So what the Lord has ordained for you, man, but you just gotta keep the faith, and no matter what situation or scenario that you're put into, you know, but they're gonna come to deliver you up. That's coming soon, man. You know, we always talk about it, we say it, because it hasn't happened yet, but it's coming, man. You know, this prophecy is when that vision, it says what? The vision is yet for an appointed time. So it may tarry, wait for it. All right? And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for it. Because it's going to speak and it's not going to lie, man. You know? What you got to do?
Verse 14. Then Yahweh said unto me, the prophets prophesied lies in my name. Yeah. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them.
That's right.
Neither spake unto them.
Yep.
They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination and a thing of naught and the deceit of their heart.
That's right. See that? That's why they can't admit like dudes like me, dudes like Yohanan, man, Alazar, you know, and Zabak and dudes like that, man. Yo, you got they have some things they got right, you know, they're Israelites and stuff like that, they get it right. But for the most part, their doctrine is off. They go off every time they come out, man. And that's coming out of their own heart, their own mind, their own lust and greed, man.
Hey, own vain opinion. Hey, right. The Lord said, my ways are not your ways, my thoughts are not your thoughts.
And yo, just like you had, I was watching a video of Apostle Tahar, man, and he was talking about he was getting on IUIC hard, man. And because they had a IUIC Kenya, I believe it was. I think it was IUIC Kenya over there, right? He said, man, there's a lot of Hamites, you know, and they talking about, yeah, most high blessed Christ. And he's like, yeah, they gotta tell them Christ because they don't speak English. So what the heck? They don't speak English, they don't speak Hebrew either.
Right.
But you got a Hebrew name, right? But you're going to tell them that the name of the Lord is in a Greek name, man. You got your goddamn mind. So you're supposed to tell them that the name in Hebrew. He said you probably teaching a lot of Hamites, man. You know, because that's all they really care about, man. You talk that Israel. That's where you get a lot of those niggas that come on the Instagrams and social medias, and they try to with the orphanage stuff, and they always be from over there, Shalom family, and all this stuff, man. And the whole thing is they want to get money out of you, try to play on your emotions for those kids that the Lord got in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do everything for everybody, man, you know. And those kids that's supposed to be in those conditions and all that, I always tell them, well, pray to the Lord, man. I ask them to help you out. I ask them to help you heal. You know, you believe on the Lord, as the scriptures say, you'll be able to do all things, man. You know, you might ask the Lord for spiritual power to be able to heal them. You know, if it be His will, man, He'll give it to you. If you believe on it, and that's what you got to do, you have to believe on it, man. First and foremost, you know, you got to do. That was it on that.
Come.
Let's go to Jeremiah 23:16.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 16. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, right, and not out of the mouth of Yahweh.
That's right. And what do we do? How do you speak out of the mouth of Yahweh? The scriptures.
Right. Back it up. You gotta back it up.
That's right. And how you do? You research, do the history. You know, you like I said, you research, man. Main thing. You know, you gotta pray for it too. You gotta fast. The Lord, He gives you visions, man. He'll give you the correct breakdowns. You know. But you have to go and ask for these things, man. Ask and ye shall receive, man. Whatever a man asks for that believes on Yahweh Shem Shah, He's going to give it to him. Man.
All right.
You know? So if you want to ask, you ask for righteous things, man. We're not telling you to go out and ask for all this money, man. You're supposed to ask for salvation. That's the main thing you want from Babylon is salvation, and that's what you should ask for.
No.
Not all this other things of this world, because all these things that you see around you is about to dissolve, man. You know? They're about to dissolve. Just like, I was watching videos on that atomic bomb, when they did tests on it. When you look at stuff like that and you think about what's coming to this place, that just scared the shit out of you. That should make you want to get right, man. You know, with your Yahweh Shai, Bashar Crocodile. You know, because that's the only way you're going to get up out of it, man. You know? So with that, man, you got anything else, brother?
That's it.
Man, so with that, Lord's willing, you was edified, man. You know, got a little breakdown. We'll do some more research on that. So we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom out to the elect. So next week, we're going to sing the Waffle Bible Ball. Kwam Yashua. Shalom. We just did it too. Solid. Yo, them damn.